Hi, I'm Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and we're discussing having an embroidery business and what it takes and what to do and all sort of things like that. So if you've missed any of our series or one of our videos of this series, please go back and take a look at those because we talk about pricing, we talk about getting your customers and all sorts of things. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about what you need. Now, to start an embroidery business, I know it seems redundant, but you're going to need an embroidery machine. There you go. So you may already have one, a tabletop one that you have that you do fun little things on. It's probably a combo sewing and embroidery machine. Those are great. But if you really want to have a business, what you look for in a business is efficiency, cost effectiveness, and speed. So if you want to have a business, you really should consider a multi-needle machine. Now this one has 6 threads. This is called the Baby Lock Array, and it is a 6-thread embroidery machine. But the best thing about it, besides just having the 6 threads, is that it has a free arm. This free arm means that you're going to be able to do things like t-shirts without having to flip them inside out and do things like that, because all you need to do is slip them on and let it embroider. Even baby onesies are just a piece of cake with a multi-needle machine. Maybe you want to do tote bags. Again, tote bags are really easy to do because you have the bottom part of the bag is below the free arm. So you slip your bag on and it will do the embroidery for you. So it's really, really simple and easy to do. Now let's talk about other things you might want to do. You might want to do some of those cute little embroidered animals where they unzip and you take their little guts out and then you embroider on them. This is really pretty easy to do on a multi-needle because, again, you have the free arm that you can get inside. Tote bags, you can do sleeves, pant legs, things like that. So you can even do jacket backs and other items. So there's tons of things that you're going to be able to do that are a lot easier to do on a multi-needle than it is on a flatbed machine. Now, that being said, let's talk about speed. Let's say you're going to do a design that has 5 colors in it, and you need to do 50 of them. If you're doing it on your flatbed machine, it's going to do 1 color. Then you get to change that thread. Then you do another color, and then you change a thread for all 5 in the design. Then you're going to switch the garment or the project out of the hoop, put on the new one, and then you're going to do it again. You see how that's time consuming. And I love my home embroidering machine, but I'm mesmerized and I sit there and I watch the needle. And the truth of it is, you either are going to sit there all day watching it and being prepared to change the thread out because you need to get it done quickly, or that sits while you're doing something else and then you have to run back and go and change the thread. So it's just not efficient with our time. A machine like this is going to let you pre-thread the needles. I know it looks kind of like a serger. It's nothing like a serger. You're just pre-threading the machine with the colors that it needs. And when you push the go button for it to start sewing, it will start with the proper color. It will cut the thread and change to the new color, all without you even worrying about it. So you can put your shirt on, you can push the go button, let it stitch, and you can go off and do things with your family. You can watch movies, you can do dinner, you can do the laundry, you can sew a quilt, you can do whatever you want to do because you don't have to babysit the machine. If it runs out of thread or runs out of bobbin, it will stop and tell you, which is awesome. But it's very, very efficient with your time. So for example, for my embroidery business, let's start with a typical day. I'll get them running. I hoop one, and I have multiple hoops. So here's a 4x4 and here's a 4x4. I have 2 sets of hoops. The machine comes with 1 set of hoops, but I purchased the multiple one of every other size of that it comes with. I duplicated that because while it's sewing one, so I'll put one on, and let me make sure it's clear there. There we go. So I'll have that one running, and while it's running, I'm hooping the next shirt with my other hoop. And then I go off and sew my quilt or do whatever I want to. When this one's done, I'll simply take this off I put this one on. And then I start, make sure it's hanging free. Then I'll start it. Then I'll go and unhoop this, trim my stabilizer, do whatever I need, fold it, put it away, hoop the next one, and have it ready to go. So when this one's done, I'm ready to switch the process. It's just so quick and easy. And then I'm able to get a lot done. When it gets to being nighttime and I'm done for the day, I'll put a last one on and I'll push the go button, make sure, of course, that it's clear, there's nothing underneath the needle that shouldn't be. I push the go button and I go to bed. When I get up in the morning, I come down, I swap them out, get the next, put the next one on and then rehoop this one. And then I push the go button and I go take my shower, I get ready for work. Then I come, before I leave, I swap them out again, push the go button, and then I go to work. So it's working for me while I'm taking a shower, while I'm driving to work, while I'm in bed. It will work for you. You just have to make sure that you're comfortable with that and that you don't have anything in the way that shouldn't be. So that's going to be your most efficient thing. Now, let's talk a little bit past that. You already have a multi-needle. What are other things that you're going to want to have? Well, if you want to do a hat, so as you can imagine, a cap is round. See how it has a curve to it? If we were to put this in a flat hoop, for one, it doesn't go, right? And you'd have to manhandle the hat, flatten it out, and try to make it work. Let me tell you from personal experience, certain men in our lives might not like it if you manhandle their hat. I'm just saying. So what we're going to want to do is take advantage of this free arm here, and we're going to sew our cap in a circular manner. This is the cap hoop, the hoop for a cap, and see how it's round? So our hat is going to be able to go onto here, and the set comes with a cap hoop, a round table so you can hoop, because you need to have a round table to mount it on. And then also the driver, which is a round cylinder that fits onto the machine that then can do the round ball caps. Easiest thing to do. In fact, we're going to have a whole video on hooping a hat. So take a look for that in our series, and then you'll get more information about that. But that is one thing that you're going to want to have, because I tell you what, I have done more hats than I can ever imagine, and it's so easy. I would prefer to do a ball cap over anything because I make more profit on a ball cap, and they're just so doggone easy. Oh, and this part of the cap system, get yourself a second one of these, because that way you can have one hooped and ready to go. So as soon as you're done with the one cap, you put another one on. So that's really important to have too. Then we also have a really cool hoop, and it is a clamp hoop. So let me grab that and show you this. This little clamp hoop opens up, and it's just like what it says. It has a clamp. Now it has two different sides to it. It has a kind of a velvety side. So if you're working with something that is just standard type of pressure that you need, that works well. If you have something that's hard to hold on to, there's a rubbery side that gives you extra grip. So let me show you how this works. And this is how I did this little bag here. So this had a great little top to it, but it's really hard. You couldn't get that into a hoop. So this, we just slip it right into the clamp hoop, and it's easier when you have it actually on the machine. But you just slip this in, and then you push down, and it's hooped and it's ready to go. Easy peasy to get those hard to hoop items and get them done. So if you want to do ball teams, soccer teams, and you're doing all the numbers on the backpacks, the clamp hoop is your best friend. So take a look at that. The other thing that you're going to want to have is thread. So let me grab this bucket of thread here for you. So this is a collection of thread. It's 100 spools of thread, and it just gives you a great start for having the right thread. Now let's talk about thread for a minute. So this thread is 100% polyester. It's trilobular polyester, which means the trilobular means that it has a high sheen to it. But the polyester is what is really awesome to use in your business because it's color fast. So that means that if it gets wet, it's not going to bleed. If it gets bleached, it's not going to fade. Very, very important. I had a gentleman one time, I did a beautiful white ball cap for him with red and blue design on it. And he didn't wear it. He just left it in the trunk of his car. And a water bottle leaked on it and it bled all over his ball cap. So I had to replace the ball cap because that just seemed like the right thing to do. Had I used this thread, I wouldn't have had to do that because I had used rayon. So polyester is stronger and it still has a beautiful sheen to it. And again, you can bleach it and it won't fade. And you also, the colors won't run. It just is fabulous thread. So try that. Now, you can see that these spools are smaller than the spools that are on the machine. These are the large cones and they're available in just about every single color. But consider when you're starting your business, start with something like this. The smaller spools are easier to store. So in less space, you can have a lot more colors at your fingertips. It's like getting the big box of crayons. Okay. So in one of these little spools, you have about 144,000 stitches. That's a lot of thread. So you're going to be able to use the little ones and have a larger color palette that you can choose from. And then reserve your large ones for colors you use all the time. My colors that I always would have on large cones are black, gray, white, red, navy blue, and a gold color. Those are ones that I have that I use all the time. And so I have those on big cones. When I first started my business, I bought big cones of a specific shade of purple. In fact, I bought 2 of them because, of course, if you need 1, you need 2. I still have those cones of purple thread after like 18 years. So do yourself a favor and don't use up your space on a couple of colors when you can get all the colors. So, but there's tons of stuff that make your life easier as far as embroidery goes. There's also, I'm going to put this down, there's also another hoop that's one of my favorites because I love to quilt on my multi-needle machine because it's so easy. And this is the magnetic frame. And in here I have, you can see I have a quilt in here that I did on the embroidery machine. And these magnets just hold the project in place so firmly. And it's so easy because you just basically put the hoop on the machine, lay the quilt over, and put the magnets on. And then when you want to advance them, you simply take off the magnets, slide it down, and put the magnets right back on. It's so easy and it holds so securely. So you're going to find that even doing things like freestanding lace with just 1 layer of wash away stabilizer is really easy. Oh, now that's another thing you're going to need. You're going to want stabilizer. Stabilizer is not, it's a necessity. It's not an accessory. Okay, so you want to do that to get the best outcome. You want to have the right foundation, and that's what stabilizer does for you. So, and you can look at our website for information on stabilizers as well. So we have lots of videos and lots of resources for you. So join us back for some of our other videos in our How to Start a Business video series.